base. However, team fights did not go in favor of Tanuki to be as such. So it'll be interesting to see what they pick with the absence of many of their main characters. But it looks like Tanuki is going to pick away that Lulu right off the bat.
That makes a lot of sense. That Lulu had so much pressure during that laning phase. It allowed that Xayah to carve out the advantages in the previous games against Tanuki. It only makes sense that this game they would want to pick it up, especially if they're looking for an early aggressive bot lane. Seeing that, though, it seems that the Legends 27 have countered with the Nami pick, making someone who can deal with the extra poke damage that Lulu has and heal up and trade their own aggro is always solid. A Jarvan in the jungle will be very interesting as he has high durability and his ult is able to lock entire teams into a small area. While they can escape, it is still a very potent damage attack as well as a basic way of securing them all into a single small area. So overall, it will be interesting to see how Tanuki decides to respond to Jarvan, who I'm not sure has actually been played at this tournament before.
Jarvan has not been streamed on this tournament so far during this spring series. It looks like Ashe and Rengar are also going to be picked in for Tanuki. Rengar being that very powerful assassin jungler that comes from a mile away and he hits hard.
Yeah, and with him being an assassin, Nami will be hard-pressed to try to figure out how to keep him off the carry because assassins with their mobility have so much just potential to sneak past enchanters especially, struggle with assassins being able to sneak underneath their CC line and get inside their zone of control and still be able to get the carry. A great reply, however, by the Legends 27 picking up that Ezreal. That will mean that this Ezreal, even if the Rengar does engage on him, will have his own form of disengage so long as the Rengar does not end up hitting him with that empowered Bola strike. Poppy looking for that hyper tank. It worked very well for them last game. Picking it again, it's obviously a comfort pick for Sub Rosie in my opinion.
Absolutely. Poppy being that very strong tank that has a lot of utility to help in team fights by removing members from a team fight and setting them all the way back to base, and from keeping stuff like that Rengar from jumping in and getting a member of Legends 27.
I completely agree. This is actually going to be really interesting. We'll get to that final pick in just a moment, but it looks like the Nautilus is going to be going top to counter that Poppy. That makes sense to me as we were seeing and expecting a far tankier front line this game from Tanuki in order to respond to that massive damage that the Legends had last game, seeing if they can counter it by learning the style of their opponents. And with that Galio mid, that is very interesting to me. I do not believe we have seen Galio streamed yet today or this tournament. He may have been played, but Galio, especially mid, is an interesting pick because his kit demands that he engage, but in order to maximize your damage, you still want to have full AP, which comes at the cost of taking a lot of damage from your opponents when you go in to get your damage. He is built or plays like a fighter or a bruiser, but his build needs to have far less durability than a fighter's would otherwise allow.
And looking at the team comps here, I would say the Legends 27 are going for a dive comp for certain, with members such as Poppy and Jarvan able to have that Galio follow up with their ult. Jarvan able to go in, do that massive AoE damage and put up the wall to surround an entire team, and Poppy able to also get in there and pin members of that team up against that wall. And then Galio to come on, swoop in, and knock everyone up for a perfect combo, if it can be done.
Yeah, it will be very interesting seeing how this plays out. With the Fizz, it will be looking like there is a lot of backline assassination potential that is on the side of Tanuki. They are looking very heavily to catch that Ezreal and to burst him. If they can do that, that will remove the major damage source from the Legends, Galio has plenty of damage, but a lot of that is reliant on his proximity to the enemy team, which is something that Tanuki is totally comfortable with. If they can get up on him, they have the tank ability in Nautilus to absorb his damage and be able to just collapse with their damage dealers on top of him.
Absolutely. And it looks like Tanuki definitely going for more of that pick comp here as well, with a lot of single target melty champion removal, like having 3 or 4 members go into a lane and wipe out the 2 members in bot lane per se. Definitely a very interesting way to go about it. However, I do believe their team fight will not match up to what Legends 27 is stacking up here. Also, Nami, great engage, giving all her members that little boost of speed to get in there even faster. And also, for the bot lane, she's going to be able to empower that Ezreal with her little bubbles there, so he does even more damage and pokes his Ashe out even more.
Absolutely. And in addition to during a team fight area, on top of, the amount of CC they already have, which the Assassins will be hard-pressed to break through some of the closer melee CC with Galio and Poppy that are providing it. If they do manage to get on Ezreal, Galio can simply ult him, providing him with 30+ % damage resistance to an assassin trying to end up killing him. And with assassins, all of the damage being front-loaded, if they can't burst him with that damage reduction, they're going to have a hard time killing him at all and have to back out before that Galio smashes into the ground, landing on them and letting the rest of his team thereby collapse on top of them.
Looking at the picks and bans, though, and what actually was picked here, there were many routes for teams to go here. Fizz being a very interesting pick for the mid lane, to say the least. Mid laners like Syndra, LeBlanc were open, like just a lot of heavy DPS, but he decided to go with this Fizz here. I believe it's one of his specialties, actually. Fizz is one of his most played characters.
I would not be surprised by that at all. And we are going to be getting into this game very shortly. Loading screen should pop up in just a moment where we will have a chance to see what skins they are running. And what are your thoughts on the overall team comps? Do you think any one team won the draft overall?
Well, I think that definitely the Legends 27, they're asking for a team fight. They want to be fighting in the pits. They want to be there at Baron, they want to be at Dragon, and they are looking to lock out anyone who would want to get close. And if any teammates do get close from Tanuki, they are definitely going to go all in with all members here. However, I see the Legends 27 definitely are going to have, if they press it, the laning advantage here, with the potential for roams and ganks is a lot higher. Fizz, it's well known that a Fizz, after getting his first kill, is definitely going to go for a roam. His roaming ability has to be among one of the best in the game.
Yes, that's completely correct, and that is going to be something that the Legends 27 will have to be very cautious of as this game is beginning. We are seeing whether or not these teams are going to be looking for an invade, and it seems that Tanuki once again going into that 5-man group and roaming.
Absolutely. Looks like Legends 27 again taking that more defensive line across the board here. Looks like Nami is going to be the one who's going to spot out the Tanuki team members if they so happen to cross over the river and through the woods, so to speak.
Well, that ward is definitely going to be providing a crucial bit of vision and possibly giving some enlightenment onto Tanuki's plans as they do continue forward, and they're spotted by that ward for sure now. Nami knows they are there, and they're looking to hide in this new bush, but I think they get the impression that Galio has a clue they're there.
Members of the Legends have not yet to move into their jungle, which I'm surprised here. Poppy given with an excellent opportunity to get that deep ward well within the blue side jungle, but not taking the opportunity so she can get into the laning phase as soon as possible.
Looks like the Jarvan will be starting over by his Raptor camp, looking for a very, very brief leash with the Q from Galio. Now, laning phase is about to start, and Rengar is going for his red, and waves have begun to clash in mid lane. and we should soon start to see some basic trading between members of opposing teams.
Nautilus reaching the lane right as Poppy does, but it looks like the members of the bot lane on Tanuki are going to be a little bit late when it comes to getting into lane, causing it to push right under tower.
Yeah, that is completely accurate, and this Ashe is going to be focusing very hard trying to get those CS numbers up to match the Ezreal, who did get a perfect CS on the first wave.
Galio definitely going in, showing who's boss to this Fizz, getting right into the minion wave and pushing him as far away as possible.
Overall, top lane, I am feeling that Poppy definitely has the advantage this matchup, especially as more levels are gained and her health pool ends up greatly outscaling the amount of damage that is on the Nautilus's abilities. Meanwhile, Nautilus is a full tank, and with the percent health damage, that is part of Poppy's Q ability. I feel that there will not be any major problems that Poppy has that.
Looking at mid lane, it looks like we've got a gank coming in here from the Rengar. He's going to land the Bola shot. Galio throwing down his talent, doing a lot of damage to Fizz here, dashing through. However, it's not going to hit. He is flashing out of here, and it looks like we actually got a teleport coming in from the Poppy here, causing both members, I believe, of Tanuki to force flash.
Yes, that is completely accurate, and that is a very powerful roam by the Poppy. She does lose advantage on summoners in the top lane, but she did not need as much pressure to keep in this game as the other people. With the flash blown on Rengar, flash was not blown, however, on Fizz. That is going to mean that the jungler is going to have a harder time closing those gaps and being able to deal that surprise burst damage when he hits level 6.
Rengar needing to be able to get onto those carries as fast as possible so he can continue to rip apart the rest of the members of the team and just let his team take care of the rest.
Yeah, and Poppy right now also just trying to get some of this aggro in top, seeing if she can try to get under the minions under tower, pushing in her favor to get that CS advantage.
Looks like Lulu just kind of sitting in the bush. They're going to get caught up by the Nami bubble. Looks like there's going to be quite a bit of damage done to her. I don't think she's going to go down, but taking half her health bar right there due to the ward in that bush.
She's definitely going to have to use some pots to heal up after that, and she is going to possibly be in a lot of trouble. It looks like this Rengar is trying to come in and hurt this Poppy, but Poppy is simply just walking away, dropping occasional spells when they're required, and even using her heroic charge to pin Nautilus into the wall just to make the trade even more advantageous when Rengar was still very close by.
Yeah, Rengar definitely getting off a lot of those early ganks. However, looking at the chart, actually, Jarvan, despite not ganking, looks like Poppy's going to be getting engaged on here, taking quite a bit of damage. Minions still hitting her, actually. She's going to need that shield. She
gets the shield, though, and is able to survive. And it seems that in mid lane, there is a bit of a skirmish going down with this Rengar here. Jarvan is on his way, and Jarvan comes in, knocking up that Rengar. Jarvan is able to wail on them. Galio looks to possibly be going for another engage. Are his spells up? They do have longer cooldowns. Q comes up, and it's huge damage, but it's not quite able to catch that Fizz, and it looks like he's able to get on top of that Rengar who's fighting him. First blood to the Galio, and the Jarvan for the assist on it. That's going to be a huge advantage to this very, very durable and very, very tanky mid laner that is this Galio. The question is, will he be able to transition it? And it looks like he definitely might be. This Galio is being pushed into a lot of CC and taken out by the Fizz, but the tower shot goes and hits it, gives Galio the assist, and Jarvan the kill.
Fizz getting a little bit too greedy there, looking for that kill. Although they did secure it, it did cost him and made the trade go in favor of the Legends 27, only losing the Galio, who was able to pick up during that fight 1 kill, 1 assist.
Yeah, and that is going to just do so much for his laning phase, especially because he's already 9 CS ahead of the Fizz just from how laning has been going. Speaking of getting ahead in CS, you can tell this Ezreal is a skilled and practiced AD carry. He's already hit 59 CS by the 7-minute mark, and he is continuing to increase the amount as he just focuses on the clearing of those minions.